Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Charlotte Virtual Wedding Show. I'm Cass Bradley, and this is my partner in crime, Elizabeth Kinney. We are the founders of Charlotte Wedding Bosses and the owners of Weddings by Blue Sky. We're really excited that everybody has taken the time to be here today. You are in for a treat in that we have some of the industry's best and brightest, the most tenured industry pros that are here to just share with you and be a resource. When we decided to create this event, it was right around the time that I think you all can remember when we went on lockdown for quarantine. And it was just this really strange time, not just for industry, but for engaged couples. What we were kind of hearing is people were sort of unsure, can we celebrate, should we plan, and what can we actually do? And so we kind of all pulled together and decided that our role for now would be to kind of allow that, to let us all celebrate, to bring some joy to those of you that are engaged, and just to act as a true resource. And so the virtual wedding show was created.
Yeah, and it was such a success that we had to do it again. Even though we are no longer in quarantine, we found that this still serves couples who are super busy, overwhelmed. We get it. Planning your wedding is like a second job. So we totally understand, and we know it's a big deal, and that you just want to make really good decisions and hire people you really trust. So that's really the premise of Charlotte Wedding Bosses. It is a group of wedding professionals that are experienced, have great reviews, and are really committed to serving couples.
For all of those that are a part of our community, nobody can buy membership into the community. It is essentially, we've gone out in our decades of working with industry pros and have hand selected those that have been in business at least 3 years, that have a ton of fantastic reviews. And we have a small portion of those folks here today giving their time and talents for all of you.
And we really believe that that's a recipe for a successful wedding, is to have pros that really care about you, really want to serve you, really want to know what matters to you, and then are going to work together to make that happen. That is a recipe to have your dream wedding come true.
Yes. And so today, what can you expect? So the unexpected, probably, and what we mean by that is, though all of us are professionals, many of us with storefronts, not everybody is back in the position yet where we are in our storefronts. So you might see some of us working from home or from other locations, which means things like children and barking dogs and who knows what might factor in. And so we just ask for grace and that we just make it a part of everything that we're doing here. For us, we just wanted it to be really laid back. We hope that most of you have pulled up your favorite beverage of choice and you're sitting on your sofa, and we just want it to be fun, and whatever happens sort of happens. So you might see Ellie and I kind of shuffling papers. Our internet connections might get a little slow, and we're a little rusty on switching between some of the screens. So we're just going to say we're not professional presenters. We're wedding professionals, so bear with us on that. But really, ultimately, we just wanted to gather people that are engaged and some of the best and brightest in our industry and be here today. So you can expect that you're going to have these pros come on, and after their decades of experience, are going to give the top tips and what they really wish engaged couples would want to know. And so they're going to give you that. They have also donated some amazing giveaways. We've got thousands of dollars of giveaways that we're going to do periodically through the event today. You should expect open Q&A. So any question that you have, you can type it into the Q&A on the bottom. And to be clear, it's not the chat. You'll see to the right, there's a Q&A section. And so if you have a question, pop it on in there. We're going to moderate those questions. So if we don't get to all of them, just know you're going to have a really great chance at the end to break off into virtual wedding show rooms. And so each individual wedding pro is going to have a space for you to meet with them personally. So don't worry, you'll have a chance to ask all of your questions and to talk to anybody you want to one-on-one in the end.
But most of all, we want you to have fun.
Yeah.
We know there's not a lot of that in this world right now. So just for tonight, we want you to let it go. Have a good time. Enjoy being engaged, because that is like one of the most exciting times of your life. And just enjoy this time. Learn and just have fun.
Yes.
So having said that, we are going to kick everything off with a virtual cheers. So we're going to give you a minute to, we know a lot of people probably rushed in from work and other things. So you might need to do some self-care. We're just going to take 1 minute.
Do you want to pour a little something?
Yes, if you want to pour a little something, then go do that, and we'll see you back in just 1 minute.
So we just want to get started, and really a toast to all of you, a toast to every single one of you that took time out to come celebrate with us. And that includes the wedding pros that have given their time this evening. And so we're just going to start with a virtual cheers, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Cheers, everybody. That's quite delicious, I might add. And now we're going to introduce you to our host for this evening. We have with us Troy from Carolina DJ Pros, and we're going to tell you just a little bit about him, and our moderator Ashley is going to go ahead and put that up on the screen for everybody to see. Amazing. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Troy. Troy has been a professional DJ for 27 years, since the age of 16, and DJ'd his first wedding in college. He's a highly sought after DJ, wedding pro educator, national writer and speaker. Carolina DJ Pros is an award-winning DJ service with 5 stars and over 1,000 reviews. And they've ranked top 10 in the USA and have 30 event pros covering the Carolinas. Everyone, we'd like to introduce you to Troy.
Dang, I got to take you guys with me everywhere. That is awesome. Seriously, you guys travel? Thank you
How
so
are
much.
you?
I am absolutely honored to be here. First of all, I want to give a round of applause to you two. And I know all our panelists and pros and participants do too, because you guys started this. It's awesome. So thank you to you. It's funny you said being at home, because I am honestly, we've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old running around. So I am coming to you from my quarantine shed studio. Literally, I converted my man cave into a webinar studio. So we are going to have a great time tonight. I'm excited to be here. There's an amazing group of professionals here. I'm excited to be a boss. As you guys said, we're going to go through everyone. I'll introduce them. Each pro is going to give you a quick little tip. And then, of course, we'll go through the Q&A. And as Cass and Ellie said, if we don't get to them all, definitely make use of the breakout sessions afterwards to jump in, ask questions one-on-one, and have conversations with your pros. So let's do it. So I can't think of a better way to start it off than with a new mother. So Jackie Fogarty is a Charlotte-based wedding planner with almost a decade of experience. Her main goal is to make the planning process fun and enjoyable for her clients while producing a wedding day that is personable, memorable, and stress-free. So ladies and gentlemen, planner extraordinaire and new mom, Jackie.
Wow, Troy, thank you for that amazing intro. I definitely kicked my husband and 5-month-old baby out of the house so that they would not be here crying, the 5-month-old and maybe the husband too. So they are not here, and I'm excited to be with you guys. I'm going to get right to it. So I actually have 2 tips for you guys as you are planning your wedding. The first one is budget focused. Obviously, no matter, what the budget is, that's obviously a hot topic for all brides and grooms throughout planning. So particularly, I'm going to talk about budgeting for your venue, catering, and alcohol bill. So everyone, anything you read or all of these wedding pros here will know that the catering, venue, and alcohol bill can be 40%, sometimes even more, depending on the level of venue that you choose. And obviously that can eat up a huge scope of your budget. I often will have clients that come to me and they've already chosen their venue, but maybe the venue is a little outside their bandwidth and they don't have that much money, resources left to have the wedding that they want. And obviously we want you to have, the best wedding pros and sort of all the priorities that you want. So when you are making these venue visits, which is typically the first thing that you're going to want to do, ask questions. Ask the venue what's included. Ask the venue if there's chairs, tables, linens included. If there's not, you're going to have to, allocate for some rental costs there. Ask the venue even, this is well within your right, and I think people are almost scared to ask this, but ask them, hey, like, here's my general parameters. I have 200 people. I have a plated dinner. I'm going to want a 4-hour bar, 5-hour bar. I'm getting crazy. Get that general estimate and be sure that the venue coordinator can give you the tax and service, because that can add thousands of dollars to your bottom line and, truly affect the overall scope of your budget. We want you to kind of set you up for success when it comes to your budget. And since that is such a large chunk of it, we want to make sure that you have enough money to do the rest of the things as you go throughout your planning. And my second tip is a really quick one. It talks about hiring your wedding professionals. And in my opinion, and all of these wedding professional opinions, the vendors and wedding professionals that you choose are the number one, key to sort of a successful wedding day. So make sure you're able to get who you want and think about booking those first that can only do one wedding per day. That's your photographer, a planner, a band if you choose to have one, etc. All the vendors and all the wedding professionals that you choose for your day are so important. But if you kind of knock those out first, you'll know that you kind of have like the pick of the best in the industry. Then you can focus on the other, also equally important vendors and wedding pros. So those are my 2 tips. I could talk forever.
Jackie, let me jump in. I've got a question here for you that I'd love to ask. So what would you say are 3 things that people either don't think about, don't plan for, or don't allocate enough for?
Yeah. Awesome question. Number 1, when you are doing your budget and planning for that, you do want to have an incidentals sort of line item. So maybe that's 10%, of the total scope that you want to spend. There will always be, I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and there has never been a time where there wasn't an additional cost. So maybe it's going to rain and you want to have that tent cost, or, those clear umbrellas for photos. So that's a great thing to think about. The other thing I would say, as far as, and I think that Megan is going to really appreciate this, but hair and makeup gets booked up super quickly. I don't think people put that sort of in their priority, like vendor list, to kind of knock out quickly. And then, the other thing I would say is, and this is a really good one. Let's say you're deciding between venue A, venue B, or, entree A, entree B. All these things seem so important at the time. But everyone that's coming to your wedding, they don't know that you're considering these 2. So, at the end of the day, make your decision, move forward. And I promise all of your guests will have a great time.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah.
Hey, and I can personally vouch for Jackie's amazing talent and everyone in this room. I probably dove right into this, but I want everyone to know one of the great things about the group that we have here today. So before this started, we asked everyone what they wanted to get from this, and everyone said relationships. So we are a community, and we are here for you. This is what we love to do. So definitely throw us your questions, and I'm excited as we go through everyone. It's definitely going to be a great night. So hit us up with your questions, please. So now we're going to shift to the entertainment. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Troy, sorry.
Yes.
We're going to interrupt you for 1 second. We just want to see if we can test the Q&A.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of concern that maybe we don't have the Q&A on. So if there is anyone out there that wants to go to the bottom right corner of your screen and just give us a little test to make sure that, thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. All right, we know that you guys
got
are
it. Thank you.
amazing. Thank you.
Well, it's important not only for the question and answers, but this is how we're doing all of the giveaways. So you want to know how to use this feature.
So anybody else, we'll give you 10 seconds. Anybody that wants to test it, because just know if you want to win some prizes, that's where you're going to want to go ahead and whoever just put, I like that y'all started out with grab your drink. Yep, DeJoy, thank you. You're our people.
Yes, yes. All right.
Very good, y'all. Thank you. All right, so we actually do have a question in there. And speaking of alcohol, Troy, I'll let you go ahead and take that, and we're going to mute ourselves again. Thank you all for testing out the Q&A feature, and we're going to mute. And Troy, you go ahead on that question.
Yeah, great question. So Jackie, I'm gonna come back to you on this. So the question is, what budget should we set our alcohol level at?
I'm looking at Nathan from the City Club, who's our kind of venue rep here. I'm going to go ahead and hand this to him. I would say that, overall, one big tip is you'll see that there's a per person cost or a consumption cost. Consumption's a little risky. You may think people don't want to, drink a lot on your wedding night, but, that night comes, they're feeling that DJ music, and, the next thing you know, you've got, thousands of dollars over what you budgeted. So I always vote for the per person cost because it's sort of the worst case scenario, but I am going to kick it to Nathan if he wants to.
I think you answered that well, Jackie. A lot of times your alcohol's more than your food. For most people that have weddings, you budget more for your alcohol than your food, unless you're an Epicurean that wants to have really wonderful food, maybe not. But then it depends upon whether you're having beer, wine, and liquor or just beer and wine. So that all comes back into play. But Jackie's right. You should really do a bar package and not a bar by consumption, because a bar by consumption is really an anomaly. It's really not what you consume, it's what's poured. And at a wedding, people dancing and having fun, they put their drink down, they forget about it, they get back to the bar. So you're more likely to get kicked in the ass at the end of the wedding with a bill that would have been more than a bar package would have been. So that's what I would say, is do a bar package. Think about what you want to have. But a lot of times alcohol is more than food.
Agreed.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Nathan. So we are going to now shift to the entertainment side of things. So it's not very often that I get to introduce my colleagues, and I'm going to send it to him first. Now, the crazy thing is we are technically competitors, but here's the great thing about our community is we are in this together. And I know when this crisis started, Vinny and I jumped on a phone call a number of times to talk about how DJs can get through this. So I like to refer to him as my brother from another mother. So I want you to meet Vinny Esposito of Split Second Sound. They are one of the premier DJ companies in Charlotte, booking over 1,500 events a year. Split Second has grown from 3 DJs to over 30, but maintains the small business family values that Vinny and his wife Diane have created. Vinny is also in his 10th season as the Carolina Panthers game day DJ, and Split Second Sound has entertained at numerous celebrity weddings and events. So without further ado, turning it over to, once again, my brother from another mother, Vinny.
Thanks, Troy. I thought maybe you were going to say you're the left turntable, I'm the right turntable, and we mix it together that way. I got a simple approach, and thank you all for being here, especially Cass, Ellie, and everybody who organized this. It's about being positive, creating a synergy that planning your wedding can be fun, and then having your wedding can be a lot of fun, and having the right people behind it, I think, makes a difference. Entertainment at a wedding is about creating a unique vibe, an overall experience that lasts with people a long time. It's that incredible memory that when family and friends get together, or when they meet up with you months or years later, they're talking about their experience they had at your wedding. They're recapping it. So finding the right entertainment is not just about picking what you as couples maybe like. It's also technically about your guest. It's about who you pick will gel with all of them to mix with your family and friends. Almost like if you had a private dinner party and you had a couple of friends from work, co-workers, you had a couple of friends from college, and then a couple of family members, you'd be like, who gels together? And you would try to invite the right people. Well, you also want to find the entertainment that's going to help mix with all those different styles, because that's what entertainment at a wedding is. It's a mixture of so many personalities, and it's up to the DJ or the entertainer to bring it all together. So when you look at that, you look at how's their experience, but more importantly, how is their approach to your wedding? How do they handle things? How are they going to make your wedding uniquely different from the one they did last week or the one they're doing next week? And that's because it's about you. And how long have they been DJing weddings? And Troy will tell you, he's been doing it a lot of years like me. When you have that much experience, you take all that together and you can adapt to different situations. So knowing their wedding experience is very important. It's unlike buying a product or an item. You're buying a service. So knowing the history, the reputation, the approach, and how the DJs are different is really important, how that makes your wedding so uniquely different. So it's not just about price sometimes, it's about just finding that right chemistry for you, your spouse to be, and also your friends and family, and how they'll make it pull it all together. That's what I got as your tip when you're looking for entertainment.
Awesome. Thank you, Vinny. So we've got a couple good questions here for DJs. So I'm gonna throw it back at you. So one question I'm looking at, what is the average cost of a DJ?
Depending on the company and what they bring, but I think it ranges anywhere from a quality DJ is probably going to be around $1,000, $900, up to $1,800, $2,000 or more. Again, it could be ceremony, it could be uplights, it could be a level of DJ. I'm sure, like Troy, being the leader of his company, like me, we might be a few dollars more because we're more sought after. So I think it's also that reputation that does it, but it's also what you're asking. Do you need extra speakers, ceremony, cocktail, dance lights? Maybe you have increased lighting. But I think, as Hill will probably say, and I'll toss it to you, Troy, it really depends on what you're looking for. Because today, even micro weddings and small weddings, it's going to be simplified, but doesn't mean it's cheapened out. And Troy, what do you think about that? If I can ask it back to you.
Yeah, I'd exactly piggyback off what you said as far as the price range. Definitely, like you said, 1,000 to 2,000, and obviously the more experience someone has, the price is going to be a little bit more because they have that experience, knowing how to handle things when things happen. And like you said, the first question that we're going to come back and ask when somebody asks what the price is we're going to ask, well, what do you need? Like, just like Vinny said, ceremony, how many locations are we going to be at on the day of? Do you need me to set up in 3 different areas for ceremony and cocktail hour and reception? And what's your lighting needs? And so there's so many factors that go into it. And that's where it also comes back to, it's going to be probably the word of the night is relationships. You're a great DJ like Vinny, like Vinny's company, like himself, like our company. Hey, yeah, come on now. We're going to get to know you. We're going to get to know you, know what you want. We're not going to show up on the day of. So, so we got one more really fun question here, Vinny. So I want to turn this, I'll give it to you first again. So what is the number one song that is on your do not playlist?
I don't carry Chicken Dance anymore. I just say the file is corrupt and I don't have it. I'm sorry if that's your pick. I only play YMCA if you worked there. No, I'm only kidding. It basically is, it's really is whatever the bride and groom tell us, and it probably on the do not playlist is really what's important. If there's something that don't want to hear, and obviously it's edited material, that's something that we don't want to play. That's most important than anything. What about you? Do you like Chicken Dance?
Seriously, I wrote down my answer to this beforehand, and I wrote down YMCA, Chicken Dance, and Macarena.
There you go.
We
So
think
you gave us the perfect segue into our first giveaway, gentlemen.
Nice.
So we're going to do a giveaway, and we're going to go ahead and use the Q&A section. And we're going to ask a question. And the question is as follows. What song is going to be on your do not playlist? And we're going to pick the best one to win an amazing prize, and we'll tell you what it is in just a minute.
And it can't be anything they just said.
Yep, you got it. So go into the Q&A, and whatever song you are like, absolutely not, you will not play that at my wedding, we're going to pick a winner from that Q&A section. All right, so let's see what we've got so far.
Just the thought say, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And we're gonna give about 20 seconds. So if we don't have any contenders, I mean, Shannon's is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and give it to Shannon. What do you think?
I think so.
All right.
All right, Shannon Davis.
Let's tell Shannon Davis what she won. And we're gonna go ahead and put that up on the screen.
It's there.
Awesome. You have won a date night for two at Dilworth Grill. And so Shannon, you'll expect to get an email from us probably on Monday with information on your prize.
And that is courtesy of our very own host, Troy with Carolina DJ Pros.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we're going to turn it back to you, Troy.
Well, thank you. So I'll piggyback on what Vinny said and give my quick tips as far as selecting a DJ and working with a DJ. So the 3 tips that I would give everyone first would be, first, write things down, write out what your goal and what your vision is for the day. And that doesn't apply to just the DJ. That applies to everyone. So once you can focus your vision of exactly what you want, it's going to be that much easier to communicate those things to your DJ and to all your professionals. Because here's the thing, throughout wedding planning, you're going to have to make a lot of choices and you're going to have to prioritize a lot of things. So writing down, hey, these are my top priorities. This is my goal for my day. And then when you get with your DJ and you get to music, it becomes things like, okay, what is my goal for music for the night? Is it to hear my favorite songs? Is it to make my people dance? Is it a combination of both? Because your favorite jam might not be what resonates with your whole crowd. I love to tell the story of, I had a bride that she wanted to hear the 6-minute live version of a Fish song. It didn't matter if it cleared the dance floor. That's what she wanted to hear. And when the wedding came, we talked about it. Hey, this might clear the dance floor. What do you want to do? She said, roll with it. Wedding came, cleared the dance floor, but her and her 4 friends had the best time to that song. So think about that. Then when you come to music, like Vinny said, how do we make it that this isn't the same thing over and over and over again? So a couple things to think of with your music. First of all, do not settle. There is a place for everything in your day. No matter what it is, there is a place for everything, whether it be prelude or ceremony or introductions or send-off. And there are ways, for example, I've had a couple one time, she wanted classical music, he wanted Metallica during the ceremony. So guess what? Vitamin String Quartet has a string version of Enter Sandman. Like, there is a way to do everything. And then lastly, with your music, this is how you personalize your night. Think about why songs are important to you, whether it's certain moments of your life, whether it's groups of people, but sharing that information with your DJ helps the DJ make that night personal. So it's not the 100th time you've heard Usher's Yeah, it becomes special. And I say that because I had a bride one time that was her dad's ringtone. So we were able to create a nice little moment leading up to that. So share that information with your DJ on why certain songs are special. So those would be my 3 tips. And now we get to move on to the rental portion of our industry. So this crew is straight up one of the best. And a great crew to me starts with great leadership. And that means it starts with Jennifer. So Jennifer's first formal event position was in the country club business 8 years ago. But even as a child, she was planning her friends' birthday parties. She now runs CE Rental, which is an award-winning company that specializes in providing a wide variety of event rental equipment, including specialty linens, fine china, flatware, tables, chairs, catering equipment, and extensive tenting options. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to Jennifer. Take it away, Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. Well, so thank you for saying I run CE Rental. I like to think that, along with Patty and Andrew, we have the most amazing crew ever. We really do. And we have 2 new people that have moved into, well, we have 2 people who've been there for a while who've moved into operations and inventory. And now it's like the Wonder Woman crew led by Andrew King. So we're super excited for when everything changes and goes back to kind of normal, the new normal, because our team is so excited to be together and we just have so many wonderful, loving, caring people. So I'll get to the tips. So I picked this particular background for a very specific reason. So I want you to think about this. Your plan B needs to be plan A, always. I have this conversation with people who call us about tents and rentals all the time. So they're like, I want to have this beautiful wedding outside, and I want a clear top tent, and it's going to be in July. Put on the brakes. No, you do not want to use a clear top tent in July, because it's kind of like when you were a kid and you took a magnifying glass and kind of went down to the grass and burnt a blade of grass. So your guests are going to absolutely cook in a tent. You probably would need to wear 100 sunscreen just to stop not getting a sunburn, okay? So anyway, I want you to think about your plan B is your plan A, and I want you to make your plans for that. And then when plan A is happening, you're going to be the happiest bride and groom ever. But if you plan for A and you have to switch to B at the last moment, you're not going to be happy people. So that would be my biggest tip, okay? And if you want a clear top tent, make sure that you are in a very wooded area and you're in the cooler months of the year, because that's very important. The other part is, when you're talking about rentals and you're looking at venues, Jackie was talking about venues earlier, please do your homework, but don't call 100 companies looking for 10 cents off a chair, because you're absolutely wasting your time. Every moment you wake up in the day is worth money, okay? So if you have your budget like Jackie's talking about, don't call and 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 try to save 5 cents or 10 cents on a chair. It's just not worth it. Find a vendor that really speaks to you and listens to you and wants to help you with that budget that you've prepared, as Jackie suggested. Move that money around. And we can really, as a team, all of these folks on the call today can really help you create the vision, because you know, when I started out in this business, Pinterest and all these things weren't there. And so there were just a few trends. And now because of Pinterest, you have all these beautiful ideas, and we want to help you bring those ideas to fruition. But we also want you to be very realistic. So if you make an appointment with us, we can help you. And together, us as vendors and a team, we can move your budget around and help you get as close to that dream as possible. But please always remember that your plan B is your plan A and not the reverse. Okay? That's my tip.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer. Got a few good questions here for you. So, and real quick on questions. So there are a lot of questions coming in, and so we're trying to get to as many as we can. And so I just want to remind everyone that if we can't get to your question, and if we don't get to your question, it's not intentional. And please make time after the show that you can jump in on the breakout rooms with the pros that you want to talk to and ask questions to them as well. So we'll get through as many as we can, but we probably won't be able to get to all of them. So first question for Jennifer on rentals. So I've got a question that says, do you recommend tents in the winter?
I do. We don't, and tents in the winter are really because of rain. We don't know when it's going to rain. Now, with that said, I want you to understand that where I am in the rental industry, I need you to understand it from our perspective. We are a business, okay? So you may not want to book that tent until the very last minute. Well, if you're in a peak season, November, December is even peak now, sometimes January is. You're going to need to book that tent in advance, because what happens is if you don't, then if we get close to that time and you go, oh my God, I need a tent, we might not even be able to come and install it for you. We may not even have the tenting vinyl for you. So keep those things in mind. You need to plan in advance. And yes, I do like tents in the winter. I will say this, if you get a tent in the winter and it's very cold, we can put tent walls around it. And if you need heat, heating a tent is much less expensive than air conditioning a tent. Okay, so let me tell you that, all right? So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. I got one more for you. So what would you say, and it might be hard to limit it to your most popular, but what are your most popular or popular rental items? Excuse me, popular item or items?
So I will say this, we've wanted a new chair in the market for a really long time, but the Chiavari is never, I don't know if it's ever going to go away. That's one of our most rented items. Besides that, I would say we're really coming into an era because of Pinterest and the things we were talking about before, all those wonderful inspiration pictures out there, specialty linens. And that's what we actually specialize in. We make our own linens. So you can really create a fabulous look, whether it's clean or you want something blingy or you want something that's floral. You can really set the mood with linens. So I would say that choosing linens now and using a Chiavari chair are probably the most important right now. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks.
All right, now we are going to transition to the accommodations aspect of the industry. So straight up, she is the OG of our industry. And by that, I mean she is one of the most informed and enjoyable people you will ever meet. I trust her with my business. I trust her with my kids. So meet Erin Dennis. Erin manages events for Hampton Inn and Suites, Charlotte South Park at Phillips Place, which stands as the focal point in Phillips Place, a beautiful European-style boutique village. Whether you are looking at rehearsal dinner or reception space for your big day, or you're looking at rooms for your out-of-town guests, their hotel can accommodate your every need. So, without further ado, turning it over to the OG, Erin Dennis.
Wow. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate that very much. I do want to say something first before I go into a little bit of my advice is that, we talked at the beginning, like Troy said, about relationships. And I am a big supporter of that. I can attest to the fact that everyone on this panel is a very honest and trustworthy person that will give their entire heart to make sure that your wedding day is the most joyous and wonderful day that you could ask for. So just know that all the people here have your wedding day at heart and to make it the best day for you. So I am going to talk a little bit about accommodations today. And because sometimes that becomes the item that isn't quite thought about as much as it needs to be. I think you do, of course, want it to have the right accommodations to your out-of-town guests that are in the right location, might be the right price. And there's some questions that you can ask to find out those things, but there's some extra questions that you want to know and you want to ask. Some people don't realize that a lot of hotels already have some partnerships with venues. So you want to ask the question, you want to say, my wedding is at XYZ location venue. Do you have, do you have a special rate for that venue? Because I know that we do, and I know that there are other hotels that do as well. Another thing you want to ask about is transportation. Some of the hotels in either Uptown or South Park area do offer a shuttle service. For us, we go within 6 miles of the hotel. That can be a very good way for you to save a little bit of money on transportation costs, at least getting your guests over to that ceremony spot or to the reception spot. And then what are some things that you need to be thinking about as far as the location and about the hotel itself? You might work with a salesperson like myself maybe once and put together the room block. And we have this great connection on our 1 or 2 phone calls. And then each month we email each other the list of who's made reservations. But you have to keep in mind that your guests are going to be calling that hotel. They're going to be checking into that hotel and they're going to be living there for 2 or 3 days. And you want to make sure that you're choosing a location that is going to take really good care of your out-of-town guests. It's going to make them feel like they are at home. They need to be comfortable. and safe. And so those are things that you really want to consider when you're looking at hotels, hotel locations for your room blocks. So I hope that some of these things will be helpful to you. I'm happy to answer any other questions that you might have for accommodations. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Yeah, we have a couple good questions here for you. So first question, what is the average rate when wedding blocks are reserved?
So it kind of depends on the area of Charlotte. So if you're looking at some like uptown areas, you're probably looking anywhere from the 109 to maybe 2, just depends on the room type and the type of hotel. And then in the South Park area, you're looking at probably around the same thing, 109, maybe up to the 150 range. The biggest question that you want to ask is not necessarily what that rate is, but what's included with that rate. So some hotels will include the breakfast, some hotels will include the Wi-Fi. You might have to pay extra for parking. So don't stop at just the room rate that you hear. You want to make sure that you're asking what else is included with that.
Awesome. All right, got one more. Do we also reserve the wedding night room when blocking off rooms?
So I do suggest that. A lot of hotels will have a program where if you book so many rooms or room nights that you will get a complimentary room. We actually will allow that to be the suite for the bride and groom, and you want to ask for that. That's not always something that's given. It's something that you want to make sure that you ask and say, you know, how many nights do I need to get before I'm going to get a free room night? I mean, it sounds a little bold, but I mean, you're bringing business to that hotel for the room nights, and you're the one who's making that decision for everyone. So you should be able to get a room. Yeah.
All right, got one more for you.
Okay.
So is there a limit on how many rooms people can reserve?
Yeah, most of the time you are looking at maybe what's called a courtesy block. So, and what that means is that you're not obligated to any rooms that are not booked, you're not going to have to pay for. But what happens with that is there's a limit. So for example, our hotel the limit is 15 rooms per night. So if you only book 10 rooms in your block, those extra 5 will just get released for free sale and you're not going to get charged for it. But some hotels, if you feel like you're going to have a very large wedding and you want to block about 30 rooms, but you don't pick all of those up, you could be in a situation where you could get charged for that. So it's a really good question to ask.
Great. Thank you, Erin.
Thanks, Troy.
And I am going to turn it back. Now, here's an example of great leadership with Cass and Ellie, is that we are ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we are.
It might be like 3 minutes, but hey.
Turn it back to you guys for a giveaway.
Woohoo! All right, I'm gonna let Ashley bring that up. So
Get excited, folks. We have another giveaway.
here it is. We have a staycation, 1-night stay at Hampton Inn and Suites. We are, what is the thing? Okay, so we want you to post in the question and answers your most hilarious nickname that you call your fiance. And we'll just wait for those to roll in. Buddha Valley. Whoa.
Lead instructor. Poochie. Bubba. Snickabuzz. Boosticles. Bald head.
Tootie butt.
We have to mute and have a conference. I might have to.
I love this. I don't know. That's tough.
All right.
Bald head.
Small.
Okay.
Oh
man.
yeah, okay.
I think Snickabutts is pretty good.
The
Buddha
tortilla
Belly.
is like so out there.
I know.
Bugs is adorable.
It's Freckles.
Freckles.
Butt bear.
I don't.
Okay. All right. We can do. Yeah, tortilla's pretty cute.
All right.
That's
I'm gonna-
ridiculous.
because I don't know anyone else called Tortilla. I think Tortilla for the win.
Madalena. Okay. Let me write her name
All
down
right.
here. Here we go.
Madalena Rispoli. Sorry if we mutilated that name.
Yeah.
Madalena Rispoli. It's
Sorry.
beautiful.
All right.
Thank you
Okay.
all so much. Stay tuned. We still have 3 more giveaways and a fashion show.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm very entertained looking at the Q&A comments here. So yeah, and please everyone keep the comments coming in. Like I said, we're going to get to as many as we can, and certainly we've got the opportunity afterwards. So we are now going to transition over to Efficient. Someone's got to marry you. I mean, I can't think of anyone better than this person. By the way, she has the best dance moves of any reverend I've ever seen. So she is an award-winning wedding minister and former pastor. Reverend Rebecca Nagy has been designing and officiating customized wedding ceremonies that are both meaningful and memorable for over 23 years. Her warmth and humor come through each and every ceremony she designs for you, whether you are looking for a ceremony that reflects your faith tradition, something that is spiritual, not religious, or something in between. Rebecca takes great care in ensuring that each ceremony is unique and authentic to you. So with that, I am going to turn it over to the Rev.
Got to unmute. Hi, everybody. First, I also want to thank Cass and Ellie and Troy for this evening. Gosh, Cash, this has been how many years now? You started the Bosses. We've had some pretty wild times and had an opportunity to do some of those dance moves with you guys. So anyway, what I believe in probably the most important thing that you can do for your wedding is your ceremony, because your ceremony really sets the tone not only for your day but really for your life. And so we talked about relationships earlier, and to me, my relationship or the minister's relationship with the couple is really a sacred trust. It's not only because this is such an intimate relationship. And so what I believe a ceremony should reflect who you are. You know, there's all sorts of variations of faith. There's from the traditional religious to the secular and everything in between. One of the things that I really love to do is listen to your story, get to know not only who you are and what your faith is, but also your parents, your family, your friends, because you want everyone to share in your love story and also be comfortable with what is being said at your ceremony. So you want to maintain your authenticity, but you also want to make sure that everyone else is in there with you. And I really like to do that. I have you stand in front of me so that I'm just the voice behind, and so that I can talk to you, and then the minister, the officiant, pulls in your guests and family as well. So it's this idea of working with an attitude of family. This is what you're starting. You're starting your family. I also believe that your ceremony should have moments of solemnity as well as fun. I like to look for places to laugh. I was, and still am, a professional speaker. And one of the things that we were always taught when we were speaking professionally is, in order for people to hear what you're saying, you make them laugh every 3 to 5 minutes. Also, what that smile and laughter does for you at your ceremony is it brings down the emotion. Because, you know, a lot of times you get pretty emotional while you're saying your vows. And you want to look for somebody that's going to officiate that you're going to feel safe with. And that when you saying your vows, if you start to tear up, they're going to feed you your lines, or they're going to be there with you. They're going to take care of you. I know I'm a woman and kind of motherly, but no matter what the officiant's sex is, I feel like you need to feel like they are your father or mother, embracing you, making you feel safe. Finding the right officiant is really about melding your personalities. I have sometimes I have a quirky sense of humor. Does that fit with you? So you need to look at the right person. There's always going to be the right person to marry and to marry you. And I think that's about all my tips. There's so many tips. There's so many things I could tell you. One last thing is, as an interfaith minister, I honor and respect all traditions. And I think it's important in the time that we're living in to allow people to be who they are, no matter what they are.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. So I've got a couple great questions for you. So first one, do you recommend premarital counseling before the wedding?
I absolutely do. I have a whole separate package for that. And it took me by surprise. I was, of course, trained in seminary to do counseling, but over the years, it's become very popular. And the first thing we talk about is communication and how we listen to one another. What kind of filters? Am I listening to my fiance through a dad filter or through a past boyfriend filter? Or am I listening to him? So we talk about all sorts of things. I used to do packaged premarital. Since I've been doing this for so long, I have my own premarital package that I send to you. And we have at least 2 or 3 sessions.
Awesome. I got another great one for you. So besides vows, is there anything special that people should write to provide to you before the ceremony or for the ceremony?
Actually, I have a questionnaire because I want to get to know about you. So I send you a questionnaire and I ask about your background, what drew you together, why you want to get married. A lot of times I encourage couples to write a love letter to each other and seal it and spend that first 5 minutes after you walk out the aisle as husband and wife or as partners to read all the different things about why you're marrying one another. So that is very important. I also provide you with the script. You know exactly what's going to be said. You have ultimate tweaking rights. And then I have about 27 or 28 vows for you to take a look at. So we really craft it together. I listen to your vision, you tell me about you, and then I write it up, and then we share and make it until it's exactly what you want.
Awesome. I know as DJs, Vinny and I can both vouch for how amazing you are. So
thanks.
Before we move on to our next professional, I do have a personal question. So you said wild times. So what are wild times for a reverend?
For a reverend? Well, see, I used to be in the fashion business and live in New York, and I used to frequent Studio 54. So, honey, I can rap and I can dance with the best of them. Yeah. You have both seen that over the years. Vinny, can I share? Vinny called me years ago. We were doing an event, and he gave me my moniker. I still get Christmas cards called "To the Rappin' Reverend," and we just have, you know, she gotta have a good time. We're people too. I wasn't. Hey, I can take my robe off and then I can go on the dance floor. So
I love it.
Put my robe on.
I love it.
So.
Well, thank you, Reverend Rebecca.
Thank you. So
we are going to transition over to the fashion show portion of tonight's show. And so I want to introduce Erin from Bluebird Bridal. So I personally call her Party Paget, or my favorite firecracker. She is full of life and she is full of love for this industry and the people she works with. I talk about life with her. I talk about business with her. She is an amazing individual. So meet Erin Paget of Bluebird Bridal. She leads a team of 5 talented and passionate women who focus on developing personal relationships and providing one-of-a-kind experiences to brides while searching for their dream dress. So this time, turning it over to Party Paget.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, Party Paget's like a nickname, but y'all can call me that. That is totally fine. My last name is Paget, so That's where that comes from. Also, thank you for whoever put that really professional photo where I had hair and makeup done, and yet here I am in quarantine, but welcome. So Bluebird Bridal is a bridal boutique in Huntersville, and I have just a few tips for you guys, and then we're going to give you a fashion show. And I shout out to these models because it takes a lot of effort to put on a wedding dress and strut your stuff with no music in the middle of a pandemic. So let's just shout them out. My tips for wedding dress shopping, I have 4 quick ones. The first one is to limit the number of people you bring with you when you go wedding dress shopping. You may want to bring your entourage and your party, and it would be so much fun, but you'll never please that many people. Just like 6 people can't choose a restaurant, 6 people can't choose a dress that they all love. So limit the number of guests you bring. 2 to 3 is like prime number that you should have with you. The second one I would say is pick a wild card dress. We have so many brides that come in here and they show me pictures from Pinterest, or this is something they saw in a magazine and they definitely want this dress. And by all means, you try that on, but pick wild cards and outside of the box. We are big believers here that if it's even calling your name on the rack and you're drawn to it, you're putting it on. If you hate it, I didn't design it. You're not hurting my feelings, but we say try it on. Probably only 2 out of 10 brides actually end up with the dress that they had in their mind or they saw a picture of. Everyone else goes really outside the box. So don't be afraid to grab a wild card. The last tip is you probably only want to visit like 3 stores. I know it is super exciting to wedding dress shop and want to go to every store in the block, but it starts to become overwhelming and a not so fun experience. We recommend going to a couple of stores and getting a good feeling for what is out there and then narrowing down and making your decision. We have multiple girls that will come in and they'll say, oh, you're my 9th store. And I'm thinking, oh, bless your heart. Like that, just, I can't imagine that being fun. So that would be a tidbit about kind of, reducing the number of stores you have. And my last one is the feeling. I think that say yes to the dress and all this online has commercialized this, like, I have to stand in a dress and I have to cry and sob and everyone has to tell me I'm beautiful. And maybe we get that. And sometimes it happens, but sometimes it's just the feeling of, oh my God, I feel so beautiful. I feel like a bride. I don't want to take this dress off. We have girls jump up and down, like they're princess strutting throughout the store to music. And we say, what do you want to hear? And they want to hear Beyonce and walk down. Go girl, like go for it. So a lot of times the feeling is not an emotional feeling. So don't strive for that. If you're not typically an emotional person, you won't get it. You'll get the feeling of excitement or pure joy or just, please, can I leave right now in this dress? I want to wear it when I go to the grocery store. So whichever of those feelings come, that's what you get when you know it's your dress. So those are my tidbits for you. There may be a little bit that comes in between the models because they can only change so fast. So if I have a little extra something, I'll throw it in there. Or if there's a Q&A, feel free to come at me for that too. I am going to scoot this way and the models are going to come up here and I'll tell you a little bit about the dresses. If you want to start the fashion show or if you have a Q&A, let me know which one you want to do.
We've got a couple questions I can with right now.
Sure.
So a number of them. So first one, so how many dresses would you recommend someone try on at each store roughly?
So we give people clips and let them go directly to the racks and clip the dresses that they are most interested in. I recommend 8 to 10 per store. You're going to get a really good feel as to what you like and you don't like from that. So at the end of the day, most girls end up trying on somewhere between 20 to 25 or 30 dresses total before making a decision.
Awesome. So next question. So is it best to make an appointment to try on dresses or just come in?
Please make an appointment. We are in COVID. We have restrictions. If you show up, don't make me turn you away. It makes me sad and I cry. Please don't do it. Absolutely. And this goes for every bridal shop. We are almost all by appointment at this moment. We're in phase 2. We require masks. You limit how many people can come, just like everybody else does with their meetings. So yes, please call and make an appointment. Then we also have information about you. So we're prepared when you show up. We know immediately what you like.
All right. So I got 3 more quick questions.
Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah. what should someone bring in when trying on their dresses?
So honestly, not a lot. If you bring in thinking you're going to have this exact hairstyle or these exact shoes or this, specific headpiece, a lot of times it doesn't go with the dress or will throw you off. I say you bring a couple of your closest friends. Please put on some nude undergarments just so that, black and white don't really mix sometimes in a dress. And bring yourself and a smile. That's all you need.
Awesome. What about range of sizes? Do you have a range of sizes?
I'm really glad whoever that was that asked that. Thank you. We do. So in the store, we have everything from a size 8 to a size 24. Keep in mind, bridal sizing is typically 1 to 2 sizes larger than your standard size. So if you wear a 4 or a 6, you're an 8 or a 10 in bridal. You can thank Europe for that. They don't do 00 and 0, so everything is bigger, but be prepared for it to fit differently. But we have everything. We also have panels and clips, so we can get every girl, whether she be curvy or plus size, or she's petite like me. Y'all, I'm like 5 foot tall. We can get all people and all brides in dresses.
Last question. So what is a rough estimate of budget for dresses?
I was waiting for that one. So the average in the whole state of North Carolina is $1,300. Our average in the store is $1,500. So we have everything from $650 to $3,400, with $1,500 being your sweet spot. So if you come in with $500 or $600, it's not that I can't help you, but just know that you're going to have a more limited selection. So I would say people, you're going to want to have anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to really get something that's going to make you happy.
Awesome. Well, I will turn it over to you for the fashion show, and then afterwards we have a giveaway.
We do. Okay, y'all, I am used to fashion shows with like music and a really long runway. So just work with me here. And what we're doing, I'm going to scoot this way and I'm going to get my first model to come on in. So she is coming on over. Yes.
Sorry, I interrupted for 1 second. We just wanted to mention to everyone that we are practicing social distancing, and in Erin's shop, when you are in with your bridesmaids, family members, you will have a mask, and normally we would too, but those of us that you do see together, we are kind of quarantined together at this point. So we just want to let everybody know that we're being respectful of social distancing. And when you come into our individual storefronts, you'll know that we're taking the proper cleaning and wearing masks. But since we are essentially family at this point, you'll notice with her models, that's why the masks are not being worn. Just wanted to be clear on that.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. That's really good. But we do wear them. We have really fancy white ones that look bridal. So, Okay. So y'all, this is Miss Carly. First of all, her hair is like, let's just have a minute on that. Megan, you guys like have the pink purple hair going on. I love it. This dress that she has on is a really standard Martina. It is Martina Liana designer lace, and it is so structured and held in the top. And that is a big deal for girls. Boning. If you are a girl who's heavier chested or likes structure and support, boning is going to be your best friend. So this is the first one from Miss Carly. Thank you very much. You can turn around and head on out. I feel like there needs to be a jam. We're jamming by ourselves over here, guys. Like, I just want you to know. Next up, we have something really fun, y'all. We have a jumpsuit. So this jumpsuit makes me so happy. I just saw Jennifer's face. I'm sorry. That was so cute. So y'all, this jumpsuit, Ashley, come a little closer if you don't mind. It is really sparkly. Just move a little bit back and forth. This is the perfect rehearsal dinner, reception, like second dress look. Y'all, it's like $600 and it is killer for any of those second dresses or rehearsal dinners. So this one is super fun. And y'all, this is one of our favorite also wedding vendor friends, Miss Ashley. So good to see her too. Thank you, hon. Next up here, coming on down, I'm going to see who it is because I don't know, y'all. They didn't tell me. It's Miss Kenzie. Okay. Kenzie, y'all, she's a school teacher. Bless her heart right now, too, for what's going on with that. Kenzie is in a crepe dress. Crepe is a material that came out about 1.5 or 2 years ago. it is like a full body shapewear, but feels like pajamas. The comfort level is like insane. You just want to wear it every single day. This is something really cool that people are loving, with a lot of detail on top, but more simplistic bottom. And turn around and turn towards the side for me here. What you can see, this is a new thing. It's a cutout, elongates, and slims. So if you are short and you want more height like me, wear something with a side cutout. It will totally elongate your body. So thank you, Miss Kinsey. She has a killer train too. Y'all can only kind of see it. Look at it go. It's so pretty. Okay, that's as good as I got. Miss Jen is coming up next. And y'all, Jen works for a catering company, but works here with me too. And we love her beyond love her. So everyone's like waving, hi, Jen. I know. This is Jen, and Jen is in more of an A-line gown, but it has a secret underlayer. So slip forward if you can up here and show it. It has a secret sequin underlayer. And then it has an A-line skirt over top, so you still feel super comfortable, can move and can dance, but you've got that glitter and glow, which I know photographers love too, because it creates a cool shine that they can see on the camera. So this one is super cool. It's like a mix between fit and A-line. Yep, flip around that way, and I'm going to kind of show you the back here. And then when you walk, you get to see that fancy train. Go, girl. Y'all, this is how I do a fashion show. All right, we should be having Miss Carly coming back up again, and this time she is in a ball gown. Oh. We just picked up a new line called W2, and they are incredible. They have the prettiest dresses, and all their dresses are like $1,500 to $1,600, so a perfect price point. This is a ball gown with multiple tulle layers and ruffles, and then the top just blends right into her skin. So it's as if you don't see anything. It's the illusion mesh. Turn around for me there, please, Miss Carly. And you've got a really low back, which is what all the brides want. You guys can probably attest to that. The low back dresses is what they want. So this is a new one we just got, and it has a pink underlayer. Colors are in. Play with colors. Ivory is good, but champagnes, moscatos, pinks, they're really fun to do. So thank you, ma'am. I want her hair, but I think that because mine's so long, it would look really bad. I'm just saying. Okay. Next up, Ashley is back. Y'all, Ashley's in one of our destination dresses. And so what these are those girls who don't want the traditional wedding dress. They're going to get married on the beach. They're getting married on the top of a mountain. We had one girl get married on the top of a mountain and ski down with her husband. And so bought a dress that would like flow behind her while she skied. It was awesome. So this we think is like an awesome beach dress. Scoot forward a little bit. The pearls and the beading here on the top has a hint of blue in it. So you get that look like you're on a beach, which is so pretty. And then underneath the layer has kind of an applique of floral accents. And this dress is $750. If you need a dress on a budget with a little bit of bling, this is the one that does it. And this is a new puppy for us too. We call them puppies. That's probably weird, but I call my dresses puppies around here. So awesome. Thank you, ma'ams. I feel like y'all please like wave or something because no one's saying anything. And I know you're there, but like it doesn't feel like it. Okay. Kenzie is back. Y'all, Kenzie is in a dove gray dress. This is a brand new color that's come out. I have to be honest, I was not into it. The other girls here were really loving it, and I was kind of like, I don't really know. But it's very pretty in person for the girl who wants something a little different. So this is a traditional fit and flare. When you hear the terminology fit and flare, this is exactly what it is. Fitted in the top, small waist, fitted through the hips, and flares out at the bottom. So this is what she's in. Come a little closer if you don't mind here, please, Kenzie. So you guys can see that the sun is blinding her. Keep coming forward. Like, there you go. There we go. Perfect. So you can see there's a gray underlayer. What you want to do if you want your lace to show and be really, really detailed, put a different color underneath. If you put ivory under this lace, it looks all one color. If you do a different color underneath, you'll see the details of the lace. So keep that in mind as well when you're shopping. And then turn around for me if you don't mind in this one. The button back, and if you'll move your hair, Kenzie, that would be great. The button back and these detailed straps, this is a big deal. These detailed straps are so dainty and feminine, but they give just a little bit of something extra. And she's been at the beach, y'all, so don't look at her tan lines. We hate her because she's been at the beach. So, okay. Next up here, we've got Jen again coming in. let me try and get this. Jen's in my satin ball gowns, and she has pockets. Y'all saw it because I saw your faces like pockets. So this is, satin is not out. I know it's probably like circa 2006, but it's back, y'all. Satin is in. Whether it's Mikado, whether it's, we have another one that's a textured Mikado. It's got like a line in it, but satin is your classic dress. So if you want to have a dress that 10, 20 years from now is never going to go out of style, satin is the way to go. So this is a satin dress. The top, come forward for me just a little bit here, Jen. The top has a lace detail with some beading on it. The entire bottom is a ball gown with satin. Turn around, bead. They got buttons, and the buttons go all the way down the train. I know my son's blinding us, but it looks really pretty when you're in a dress to have natural light. So, but the buttons go all the way down the dress. So satin is in. Just saying, it came back. So thank you, Miss Jen. I'm thinking that Carly's up next, but I'll find out when someone shows up. Hey, it's Carly again, guys. Okay, so this is from our Bohemian line. We carry 2 Australian designers that are both Bohemian based. So if you want that boho look, you want unique lace, we get them all the time. As you can tell, Carly's got the cool hair in the boho dress. Like, I want to be her, right? So this is called Cameron. This dress is also under $1,500. So this one's a steal. Come forward for me just a little bit here, doll. This is that same fit and flare, and it has a tan undercolor. So that you can see that lace really popping. You can really see the lace and the details on that. Turn around for me, Miss Carly. This one fits her like a glove, by the way. So this is that beautiful V-back that people really enjoy as well in the back. So if you're a Bohemian girl, we got you covered. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Ashley's here. This dress came today, and I was like, it has to go in the show. It has to go. So this is a crepe. Again, you heard me talk about crepe. This is an A-line crepe. So it's gonna flow away from the body if someone doesn't want something super fitted. Off the shoulder is the new trend. That, you guys have probably seen it. Everyone else in the industry is like nodding. Off the shoulder is the new way to go. This one still gives good movement. Some of them will constrict you. This one, she can party. Oh, go girl. Yeah, she getting it. There's no music either, guys. Just, I want you to know. It's right here. That music's right there. Flip around for me, Ashley, here. Y'all, it has the cutest keyhole back. She has a clip here because she is a little tiny thing, and this is too big, but it has this beautiful keyhole back that is just super cool, and I'm sure photographers can see this and be like, oh, that would be so cool for pictures. And then flip around, and please show my favorite part of this dress, that it has pockets. I don't know why pockets are so cool. What do you need to put in your pockets on your wedding day? Well, I guess in the tissue, lip gloss. I know y'all are like, lip gloss. Megan's like, give me that gloss. And I get that. I'm just not a lip gloss or stick wearer. I could put chapstick in there. Somebody said snacks in case you get a little hungry, you know. I'm just thinking, okay. So, but pockets are all the rage. So thank you very much, Ashley. Yes, exactly. I'm like a one-woman show over here, guys. I just want you to know. Here we come. Y'all, look at the fringe. Please shake back and forth. Oh my God. This is another Australian designer that we have where, again, you do not see these type of things in the United States or in Europe. Every one of our designers in the store is either United States, Europe, which includes London and Spain, or it comes from Australia. Those are where all of our designers come from. And Australia is like my jam. That's where I want to live. So not only does it have fringe, turn around for me, please. Yes, it's okay. I called her out on her tan lines. I don't know how to make this not glare. It's just going to do it. There you go. So there is fringe all the way down the back, and it goes all the way down. I'm going to fluff her so when she walks away, you guys can see it. Turn the other way for me here, Kenzie. Okay, perfect. And then you can walk away and I'll show it. And there's fringe all the way down on the bottom. Y'all, I know all everyone's faces. Any of you wedding professionals who want to come play in the shop with the fringe, just say I. Come on, I have you. I got you. All of you did it. Oh, Troy did it. Bless it. Okay, Jen is back now, and she is in a House of Woo. House of Woo is one of our awesome designers. They're new to us as well. And this is, again, a perfect fit and flare. fitted in the top and through the waist and then flares out at the bottom. So where it gives her that shape and the curve she wants, but still enough room to dance and kick her feet. So yeah, go girl. Exactly. So turn around so we can see the back of this one too. So we are super low back in this one, but this one also, and sorry, Jen, I'm going to call you out here. It frames the tush nicely. I'm going to call you out, girl. Every girl likes that. So this one is what that is going to do. So when you come and see us, if you tell us, I want to frame my tush, I want to move, I want to dance, I want to whatever, we'll lead you in the right direction for a perfect dress for you. So thank you, Miss Jens. I'm at least amusing you guys as wedding professionals because like I can see you. I'm hoping that the brides don't think I'm psycho, but it's okay. We have a good time, I promise. All right, y'all, Carly's my model too because you see how she comes with the pose and the runway. Carly is in a W2 crepe. This is Gillespie and she is new and fabulous and the underlayer of it is like some sort of satin. I don't even know what it is, but it feels amazing. So slip forward for me a little bit here too, Carly, and turn sideways because you got to keep coming because that sun's killing us. This has an entire lace panel down both sides of it, which again, elongates the body. Turn back towards the camera. Yep, because you can see it really shapes in her waist here and then elongates the body. Turn all the way around for me, doll. Full back here with buttons all the way up the back, which is an illusion look, but also holds it together so that you feel like you look real fancy. Thank you, honey. Okay. Our next model was talking about how amazing her train felt, just so that you guys know. This is Miss Ashley, and she has a long, yeah, stay right there. That's where the sun is not. Yes. Okay. She has on a long sleeve dress. If you are a bride and you are contemplating sleeves, put one on. You will decide right then and there, yes, I want the sleeves, or no, they get on my nerves. It's as simple as that. So anytime a bride's like, maybe I do, maybe I don't, we put her in one because you'll know whether you like them or not. They are not for warmth. Let me clear this up. Sleeves do not keep you warm. This is mesh. This is her skin. It is not for warmth. It is for looks. So if you like the sleeves, don't think that it will warm your body in December. That's why Jennifer gets you a tent with heat. That's how this operates. Yes. So Ashley's in this beautiful dress here, again with the long on the side, which elongates the body. Flip around for me. V in the back. And I'm going to fix her train. And I'm going to have you just scoot forward, Ashley. All right. Stop right there for me, babe. All right. If you are a train person, y'all, move forward, Ash. Keep walking towards the dresses. If you're a train person, this thing is killer. Martina Liana is the designer that has the trains. So if you want a train, come in and say, I need a train. I'm like, I got you, and I'll lead you to the right place. So thank you, Maya. Just carry your train with you when you go, right? Kenzie's back. So here she is. This is a brand new Made with Love. Made with Love is our Australian designer. This is Rosie. She is my sweet love here in the store. Come closer for us. Keep it coming all the way through. Y'all, look at this material. This is all hand embroidered material. So it is not an all over lace that you're individually placed and individually hand embroidered. All the way from the top, I'm gonna kind of go up this way. You can see the top all the way down to the bottom. It's completely embroidered. Turn around for me, hun. This fits her again like a glove. It is a V back, buttons down the tush, and then has a small train. This is that bohemian style that girls are loving. Thank you, Maya.
Hey, Erin.
Yeah.
Can we see one more, and then we'll remind everyone they can see more in your room afterwards?
100%. I think we're literally at our last one, so that's perfect. Yes, I'm sorry if I overdid my time. I'm sorry. I get very excited about it. Okay, last one. Here it is. Look at this ball gown. She's beautiful. So this is actually an A-line. So those who ask, A-line versus ball gown, A-line has nothing underneath it to poof it out. Ball gown does. That's the only difference. So this is the lace top with the bottom. Flip it around. We'll show them your back. You've got some buttons and a good open illusion back, and voila. Thank you very much. Sorry, I overran my time. My bad.
No, I'm the one that gets chatty and throws off our time. So no, you're good. You're good.
Yes.
I want to turn it back to Cass and Ellie.
Hi. So guess what? Oh, did you want to add?
I just wanted to say, how did those dresses fit those girls so well? Like they were fitted for them?
Yeah.
So Again, the sizing is if these girls are like 4s and 6s, so the dresses that are 8s and 10s and 12s fit like a glove, because that's how the wedding dress operates.
It was lovely.
That's awesome. We have a giveaway. Ashley, could you bring up the giveaway? This is from Erin
Ashley.
from Bluebird Bridal. And then you're gonna.
So do we want to say what it is, or is it a surprise?
Oh, it's there.
Oh, okay. So who wants to win a little white dress? These are amazing for showers, for rehearsal dinners, and this is how we're going to do this one. So the question to answer in the Q&A is going to be as follows. So when you're getting married, everybody wants to give you advice, right? Especially during this time. So let's go ahead and let us know either the strangest, the most unsolicited piece of wedding advice you've gotten to date. And we're going to pick a winner from the best piece of advice that you've gotten.
/ worst.
Yeah, that, exactly. So we'll give you all just some time to pop into the Q&A. Oh, that's a good one.
Don't wear white. You're not pure.
Shannon Davis, I want to know who said that to you. Oh, no. That's terrible.
That sounds like someone's grandmother said that to somebody.
Right? Exactly. Oh, you need to make sure that your mate always eats first. Oh, well, ooh la la.
Disagree.
I mean, oh, geez.
You even love each other? That's terrible. Who are your friends?
We're going to get you new friends. We'll be, we're your new friends.
Yeah, we got you. Be on time.
Make sure your complimentary masks match your color scheme. Oh boy. Your grandmother? Shannon, yeah. All right. We're going through these again.
Don't get pregnant right away. People might think that that's why you got married.
Be on time. No registry presents. I mean, all right.
Sure your mate,
so Victoria,
you need to make sure your mate, make sure that your mate always eats first.
Jocelyn, we need to know what that means.
Lame.
Exactly.
Lame. I think that's lame. All right.
Bring your husband's Twix. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, these are wild.
They're
really bad. I'm sorry, guys.
How about I feel like given the state of the times, the coordinating complimentary masks might be my most good intentioned, but
bad advice.
Yeah, what do you think? Or more sex on the honeymoon? That's what you're gonna say. I know it.
I tend to pick the really bad, really.
That's
bad.
why I said.
Not that it matters, but if I'm giving the dress away, I might go with the have more sex on your honeymoon.
All right. That's all right.
I'm with you, Ellie.
Yeah. Who was that? Let's see. I think it was Victoria. Yep. All right. Victoria, we're going to have to go ahead and email Ellie. She'll put her email address in the comments. Congratulations. We're going to mute ourselves and go back to Troy.
Let me unmute myself. There we go. I better get this one right because now I get to introduce our hosts. So they are not only amazingly talented, incredibly forward-thinking, but they are as beautiful as people as their pictures are. I'm telling you that from my heart. It's not very often I can sit and not only talk business with somebody, but I can also talk about what kind of bird you are. So I want to turn it over back to our hosts, Ellie and Cass with Weddings by Blue Sky.
Oh, hey, here we are again.
Let's wait for the slideshow. There we go. Thank you, Ashley. Hi, guys.
All right, so a lot of our favorite pieces of advice, you all really did a great job of hitting on some of that. So I think that I'll give mine. How about you give yours? Want to do two?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll be coming up with it on the fly.
That's all right. So I think that for us, the one thing that we wish couples knew is that sit down and think about what really are your priorities, right? So for some people, it is the music. Like if you are music people and that is what lights you up and you're allocating your budget, then put more of that towards music. If it is you want to create your legacy and you love photographs and you want every moment of that, then think about putting the budget to photography. If you grew up in your grandmother's garden and it's flowers, think about flowers. But before you do anything, sit down and think about who you are as people and what lights you up and what you want everything to feel like. And then list out all of the wedding pros and then prioritize. And we talked earlier about, yes, obviously we know the venue and food and beverage piece certainly is a chunk, and we would probably all agree that those things need to fall somewhere up in the top. But from there, what do you really love and value, and think about that before you make any decisions.
I'm going to add to that, and that a lot of people, when they first start planning their wedding, they immediately like Google and find checklists.
Yeah.
And if all you're doing is checking off a list, you're really going off of somebody else's priorities. So really dream together with your fiance. I think I'm just elaborating on yours, but really dream together. Really think like and think outside the box. Like, what do you want it to feel like? And then choose the venue and stuff based on that. Yeah. You might be surprised, and it's really going to open up what's possible for you.
Yes. And then I guess on the photography side, everybody really talked about it, but it is in general, when you're picking the wedding pros that are going to spend the day with you, make sure you like them. With photographers, we're going to see you more than your fiance on a wedding day. Mm-hmm. So we want it to be, when your photographer walks in the room, that you're like, oh, Ellie and Cass are here, not like the photographers are here. And that's whomever you select should make you feel that way, that your people walked in, the people that are going to celebrate with you, be part of the family, not in a cliche way, but truly that add to that vibe that is uniquely yours. And, you gotta love the work, but you gotta love the people that you're going to be in really intimate spaces with. So,
yeah.
And also thinking through that, people say it a lot, but photographs are really the last tangible thing that you have. And I think that oftentimes if you, not to be self-serving, but if you ran a poll and asked your friends, what is the thing that they wish they would have thought about, is, that is your tangible reminder. And so maybe thinking through that a little bit.
Yeah, photos and video, obviously, but those are your things that you get to take away.
And we didn't moderate the questions on this one, so we don't know if there are any.
Well, yeah, so we still have a lot of comments from last time, so
let's clear up.
Okay, I got a couple.
Great.
I got a couple. But before I ask you your questions, because I got so excited to introduce you, I do want to read your bio real quick.
Oh, thanks.
So I want everyone to know that the two of you have been celebrating the lives of unstoppable human beings for over a decade. That's an amazing amount of time. You're photographers for vibrant, life-loving couples who want their day documented in an epic and meaningful way. And like I said, I can personally vouch for your beautiful people, and your pictures are beautiful. So I didn't give you the proper introduction that I should have.
Okay. So, you did now. Thank you.
I just get excited sometimes.
I didn't even know this.
So, all right, couple good questions for you.
Okay.
So, what pictures would you say are must-haves that people should think about for their wedding day?
You want me to answer that one, or you?
Well, first of all, I think if you hire the right photographer, they're going to guide you through that. They're going to go over, in terms of formalities, shot lists. They're going to go over like who matters most to you. We want to ask you questions like that. We want to get to know, like, if you're closer to your aunt than your mother, we need to know that, because otherwise we're going to prioritize your mother and we might not prioritize your aunt. And really that person's maybe more of a mother to you.
Yeah.
So we will get to know those things about you. And then throughout the day, we're going to look for those things. We're going to know. But even before the day, we're going to help you come up with a timeline, allocate enough time.
Yeah.
In terms of, documenting moments, walking down the aisle, the kiss, those kind of things, like, we got you.
Talent photographers, us, whomever, is going to get all of that for you. We kind of lovingly say, if you've spent money on it, and if it is in attendance at your wedding, it's going to be photographed. But really, it's spending that time getting to know you and what's important. So the answer really is, what do you think is important?
Yes.
And those are the photographs that we want to make sure are taken.
Yeah.
Nice. I got one more for you. So what elements would you say make for a great picture?
Well, first off, I think real moments.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
I
ever.
mean, again, like speaking to being comfortable with your surroundings, including your photographer, your videographer, anybody that's there, you know, your comfortability with them is going to allow you to be more you.
Yeah.
And actually kind of, they're going to hopefully disappear to you. Most of the time our couples come up to us afterwards and they're like, I don't know how you got so many photos. I don't even remember you being there. Well, that's the point. Like we really want it.
Except for in those moments where we have to herd cats.
And that's different. But like, but like the moments we really don't want you to notice us. We want you to be in the moment. So I think that's the biggest element to me. And of course, obviously we love a great mountain and lake and
beautiful light. All of those things are like
beautiful
the gravy on the mashed
uptown,
potatoes.
like cool, you know, architecture. Of course, those are great, and great dress and hair, and you know, we like that.
All the icing on the cake things. But for us, and I think that when you look back at your photographs in 10, 20, whatever years, the things that most people really resonate with are those in between little photographs. In our studio, when you come back and you do a reveal and it goes up on the big screen, what people are shocked by is all the things they didn't actually see. And that's what we think is kind of the real deal of what makes a good photograph.
Awesome. Well, hey,
thanks.
You guys are the host and the founder of this. So anything else you want to add before we move on to our next person?
No, I mean, those were great questions. So appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being awesome, putting this together. I know, I'm sure I know I speak for all the professionals and certainly all our people watching. Thank you for doing this. So moving on to the videography portion of our industry. And, you know, earlier Aaron was talking about tushes, and I got to say, this man to me, I mean, he is the epitome of sex appeal. I call him Brian Hot Buns. He knows how to dress, but more importantly, he knows how to shoot you and make you and your wedding and your people beautiful. So Brian and his team are a creative, high quality video production agency specializing in life-changing stories for people. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brian Bunn.
Thank you so much, man. You made me smile from ear to ear with that. My best tip that I can give you guys, whenever you're hiring your videographer, there's so many different things that go into effect. You know, there's so many different trends. But whenever you're hiring them, talk to them about audio. And I don't mean audio like music that goes with your video. I mean like those real moments, like the voice that you're hearing from me right now. You know, whenever you mic the groom, you know, you want to be able to hear the vows that you guys have written to each other. And it even goes way beyond that. There's so many fun moments during the day, just ambient moments. And you want to be able to make sure that stuff is captured, you know, like to have, you know, I remember a long time ago when the bride got her dress on, she just squealed and her mother just squealed right back at her, you know, and it was kind of hilarious, but it was precious and friggin' priceless. You know, and they got that stuff forever. I had another bride. She had her fiance. He did like a little storyboard for her and wanted her to go watch it on the TV. I got the audio all from that, and her boohooing. I was boohooing too. I ain't gonna lie, because you know it just gets so emotional, and you know you really, really want that stuff to pop. So whenever you're talking to your videographer, ask them about audio. Like, how do they handle audio? Not so much audio as in music behind the video, but audio that gives those real raw life precious moments, you know, because video, you get the visuals, but man, whenever you can accelerate that audio, gosh, it's awesome. It goes straight to the moon, and it's a beautiful thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. So we got a couple good questions for you. So how many cameras do you have on site?
Usually, it depends. For a ceremony setup, I usually have about 4 cameras. You know, I have one in the background that's on a tripod, just it's a static cam, you know, it's not doing anything. I have, you know, obviously the camera on me, a camera on my assistant, and then I have another floater camera. Because the thing that makes the video so different, and I get so jealous at photographers because they can just, and they got it. For me, I need like a little bit of the front, I need a whole lot of the middle, and I need a whole lot of the end. So there's a little bit of a, you know, it takes me a little bit longer to get the shot. So it's nice to have those camera angles that you can cut to. And a perfect example of that is when the bride is walking down the aisle. You know, my assistant is locked on the groom and I am locked on the bride. And the whole time we never move. And so during the editing, I can cut back and forth and you get to see in real time as it happened, you know, the smiles, the tears, holy moly. And when I'm editing and when I see grooms tear up, man, I got to go get I got to get a glass of water myself. It's hard. It's hard to sit there. It's so emotional and it's so awesome. So good 3 to 4 cameras is good.
I got two more quick questions, and this is both for you and Ellie and Cass. So I'll start with you, Brian. So do you suggest a first look for video and for pictures with Ellie and Cass? So I'll start with you.
For me, I do like first looks. It gives an opportunity to get things out of the way. We can get some real awesome moments with the bride and groom. And we can have time for things later. I do love it when that happens. But, you know, there's just something to be said, you know, whenever you walk down the aisle for the first time and you see your love muffin down there, you know, just like crying or laugh or whatever he's doing, you know, like he or she. And it's just as for video, it pops both ways. So having a first look at the beginning is good. It opens up times we can get a whole lot of shots and we're not rushed later on. But like I said, there's also something to be said for the more traditional moments whenever you see them for the first time by walking down the aisle.
Ellie and Cass, you want to piggyback on that?
Yeah, so agree on the timeline thing for sure. For us, it really just depends on what kind of people you are, right? So we'll say like, yes, you can do it for the timeline, but really do it because of who you are as humans. So for example, if one of you is really emotional or if one of you is really private or if somebody's super nervous, it's such a good way to see one another privately and just let all that out. And typically we tend to get really real emotion because, for example, some grooms, for example, are really nervous and so they get stoic. Whereas privately during a first look, my husband, for example, I've never seen my husband cry other than once in the 7 years prior to getting married, except for our first look. So to me, you do it for that, not necessarily for the timeline, though it helps.
Yeah, I'll add to that and that it also, I think, can, when you take away those nerves, you can actually be more present for the ceremony. Oftentimes, my couples who do first looks are just as emotional, sometimes not more, during the ceremony. And I can attest to, you know, walking down the aisle and I did a first look with my husband as well. And I saw everybody. I remember everybody. I remember things people said as I was walking down the aisle, because it was really 30 people wedding.
Instead of
pretty informal.
Don't cry, don't trip, don't cry, don't trip.
Yeah, it was, you know, and I think it provided that for me. I think in terms of the timeline, it does, you know, if you do a first look, so before the wedding, everybody's kind of eager to do something. So they're eager to take pictures. In between the ceremony and reception, people are eager to party and to hug and to celebrate. So now pictures are kind of getting in the way of that. So the less we have to do in that time, the better. Even if you don't do a first look, we always try to do as much formalities beforehand as possible. But of course, doing a first look gives you that option to just flow right into celebrating. You can go to the cocktail hour, you can go be alone by yourselves, you can do whatever you want.
But ultimately, you should do exactly what you want, and a quality team will make it work no matter.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you. And I'm looking, we've got some other questions on budget and layout, and great questions. Definitely make sure to jump into the breakout sessions after this to get more answers there. So we are now going to turn over to the makeup and hair portion of our industry. She is one of the most talented and wonderful people in this industry that I know. She loves what she does. She loves the people she works with. Heck, I call her all the time saying, "Hey, Megan, how do I get the bags out from under my eyes with little kids?" So Megan believes feeling beautiful on your wedding day without lifting a finger is exactly what you deserve and need right now. She and her team offer a wide array of services, from customized skincare routines, makeup and hair, to full body waxing and spray tanning. They have you pampered from head to toe. So this time I want to turn it over to Megan. Take it away, Megan.
Hey guys, I am so happy to be here. You have no idea how awesome this is, and just going back to what everybody has been saying, that how much everybody in here just loves relationships. That's why I got into this. I am just so happy. Anyway, so my tip for everybody is a little bit before the wedding. I think remembering that this is all supposed to be fun is like one of the biggest things. When you are stressing out and you might get into an argument or something with your partner, just remember that this is supposed to be fun. And these decisions, I think somebody else had mentioned it before, that you are deciding between two different things, but at the end of the day, your guest will know exactly whatever you put out there, they're going to love it anyway because they love you. So yeah, take time to pamper yourself before the wedding day. Take time to set aside date nights for, every week, and talk about how exciting the wedding is. Talk about, how excited you are to listen to the music and all of these different little things. Go ahead and start pampering yourself for your skincare, and go see an esthetician and get some a good routine going, so you can feel like you are showing up to your wedding day being the absolute best version of yourself, and you and your partner are just on cloud nine. And yeah, that's my biggest thing, is just remember to pamper yourself before, and remember that this is always supposed to be a fun event. There's one reason why you're getting married, and it's because you love each other. So yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you, Megan.
Yeah.
I got a good question here for you. So somebody's asking, what home remedy or home techniques, things they can do on their own, can someone do to improve their skin?
I love this. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and say, drink all the water. Drink all the water. Constantly be drinking water, especially a week before the wedding. Start getting yourself drinking water. And then second, if you actually want to start really taking care of your skin and being mindful of that, of course, I'm going to recommend to see an esthetician so you can make sure that you're doing whatever's best for your specific skin. But second is to start making sure you're taking time out to mask and get a good mask that's meant for your skin type, and give yourself little at-home massages. If you can't afford a professional facial, that's totally fine. Look up a YouTube tutorial, get yourself one of those little rose quartz rollers, and get a nice serum, and sit at home and just really pamper your skin and make sure that you're sucking in as much moisture as possible.
Awesome. Thank you. I got one more for you. So how far in advance should people book their makeup artist?
So this depends. Someone had mentioned before, I think it was Jackie, that you should definitely book way in advance. More and more, I'm seeing people book out for, a year. So I would start looking at about a year out, or, as soon as like 8 months, as soon as you can, basically, because the people that you truly want are going to be booked up. There's a ton of people out there, and you really have to make sure that the person that you're looking for and that you vibe very well with is the person that you get for your wedding day.
Awesome. I got one more that snuck in, and then we'll move on after this. So do you do spray tans, and do you recommend them?
Yes, and I love spray tans. I always tell people it's like going to the gym for a week and you didn't do anything. You just stood there and let me spray you. You literally lose like 10 pounds in the mirror. It's the weirdest thing. But yes, they're so awesome. And the way that we do them, you never look orange at all. It's a purple-based or formula. So it counteracts that orangeness and it just gives you that like perfect glow. And it is perfect too if you are outside a lot and you need to counteract those tan lines and everything. It's awesome.
Your photographers would like to chime in just a little. If don't make this a first time thing, go test it out. And the other is typically we tell folks, you know, somewhere at least 5 days prior, so that, you know, depending on whom you've worked with, and I don't know your style personally, Megan, in terms of the spray tan, but make sure that you've given yourself a little time so it's not getting all over everything and that it's not its full force brightest.
Yes, that is such a good point. Definitely, I always recommend, we offer packages. I always recommend getting at least one trial spray tan months before. You could use it for your bridal shower, your bachelorette party, some fun event around the wedding. And then definitely, typically with my formula, it's different for every artist, so make sure you check with them. But for my formula, I always say if your wedding's on Saturday, let's do it on Wednesday or Thursday night. So you give yourself some time to, I mean, the tan is going to be crazy the first day you have it. It's going to look awesome, but it's going to be dark. So you want to give yourself at least a couple days just to kind of let it soak in and really become like a natural true color to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. So we are going to now transition to the design studio aspect of the industry. So with designs, work speaks for itself and their work speaks for itself. But you also know when you meet someone right away, you know how talented they are and how genuine they are by the questions they ask and the conversation they engage in. And I knew from the moment that I spoke with Monica, that was indeed the case. So Bespoke Designs is a wedding invitation design studio creating modern classics. They love all things paper, innovative, timeless designs, and high craftsmanship. So I want to turn it over to Monica. Take it away, Monica.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited to be here. And we just want to thank all the Charlotte Wedding Bosses for being so welcoming. And a special thank you to Ellie and Cass for inviting us to attend this virtual event tonight. So the 3 tips that I'd like to share with you tonight are setting the tone for your wedding, timing, and budgeting for your day of experience. So when we think about our save the dates and wedding invitations, we're setting the tone for your wedding day. And with that being said, we like to think of your save the dates and wedding invitations sort of as the movie trailer to your big event. So your save the date is really the teaser to your wedding invitation, and your wedding invitation is the sneak preview to the wedding. So tip number 2, timing. When should you send your save the dates out? Under normal circumstances, we would say send your save the dates out at least 6 to 9 months in advance to your wedding day. But since, you know, things are a little different now, we say get your save the dates out as soon as possible. Just because from a lot of postponements from 2020, we anticipate 2021 to be jamming, and we want your guests to have your date on their calendar ASAP. So send your save the dates out at least 9 to 12 months in advance. And tip number 3, budgeting for your day of experience. So yes, setting the tone with your save the dates and wedding invitations are important, but so is your day of experience. And so all the pictures that we see on Instagram and Pinterest, we really want to have that and help create that wow factor for you and your guests, because it is about your wedding day. So when you're working with your planner or setting aside your budget, keep in mind your budget for that experience. So whether it be thinking about cocktail hour, do we take your custom artwork, work with the local brewery and print that on a beer can or wine label? Do you want a custom aisle runner that we've taken the artwork that we've created for your wedding invitation and printed this beautiful thing that just enhances the experience and makes it all that more special? And it's also the first statement that you're making as a couple joining together. So those are my 3 tips, and I look forward to meeting you more in our breakout session. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Monica. So I got a good question here for you. So I have a question on what are your thoughts on electronic RSVPs versus postal RSVPs?
So we're paper people. So my first instinct would be send out a paper RSVP, have a paper return RSVP. It is a little more special. It's so much fun. You get to go to the mail. You receive the reply back. People love to write sweet notes, comments, draw pictures, sending well wishes. So my advice would be to definitely do a paper RSVP. However, with our digital world, yes, digital RSVPs are just as fine, but it's also a reminder that that person has tangible in their hand and they'll remember to send it back.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you on that it's a tangible piece that you get to keep. So thank you, Monica. So I'm going to turn it back over to Ellie and Cass. We have got a giveaway.
So we have Date Night for 2, courtesy of Split Second Sound. A gift card to Ilios Noche.
You got it.
It's an amazing restaurant. And our question for you guys is, which couples are having pets in their wedding and what's their names?
Can you tell we're pet people?
Maybe. A little bit.
There we go.
Bentley's the ring bearer. Nino.
Oh.
Lucky James Griffith.
Which is a phenomenal name.
Puppy
Oh,
Pepper.
Jackson Mom Biscuit.
Oh, Willow.
Oh,
Pom Pom and Angie.
Pickles.
Pickles. Oh, Shadow.
How we pick the
Max-
winner?
oh
The
my
one with the
gosh.
most pets in their wedding.
I know, that's really hard.
It is.
Pickle, and also if we were doing by names, I think
Well, this was your giveaway. I mean, at least the one you're announcing. So, or do we want to have?
I like pickles. I
Okay,
think
so
that's really
apparently,
cute.
because Ellie loves pickles, Pickles is the winner. Who's the actual human associated with pickles?
Emmy Christian. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at pronunciation.
I think you got it.
Okay.
Christian.
All right.
Emmy, she's going to send you her email address, and you are a winner. So stay tuned, and we'll get you out that information on Monday.
Well, you email me, and then I'll get you your.
Yeah, what
gift
she
card.
said.
All right. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you. So we have 3 more amazing professionals to introduce, and starting that off will be one of our bakers. So I can tell you firsthand, it's not one of the baker. So she is sweeter than her sweets. I can tell you that says it all. Her work is incredible. So meet Ines from Sky's the Limit Bridal Suites. After working in New York City on Madison Avenue for Revlon and before that at Condé Nast Brides magazine for several years, Ines reinvented herself as a cake designer after designing cakes for her young daughters. Cake design incorporates all of the skill and eye it takes to make it on Madison Avenue, but now she applies that talent and skill to make your wedding cake. So let me turn it over to Ines.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me all right. Thrilled to be here. I have to admit that I'm one of those not terribly emotional people, but one of those girls who always wanted to be the bride at Halloween. How embarrassing. But it turns out that I've been eternally in love with the fairy tale of that day. There is a joy, a hopefulness, the excitement of creating your own partnership and home. And of course, we're all going to face challenges, but that day truly is each in our own fairy tale come true. And we had lots of challenges when we got married. All the little logistical things that could go wrong, a lot of them did go wrong, but somehow we made it. My husband didn't want a first look, although I did. And he cried when I walked down the aisle. And I was suddenly, just be prepared. Life tip for your wedding. Suddenly, all the eyes will be on you and your dad, and you're going to become frighteningly aware that you're being looked at by everybody. And it's a wonderful thing. But that really hit me when we were walking down the aisle. So, okay, so tips. Tips for your wedding cake. First of all, definitely come with your fiance. He'll want to be part of it. Guys, if they want to be part of something, it is the eating part. So we get to have a lot of fun with the fellas. I had one guy who kept eating cake and cake and cake at his tasting and frosting. And and I said to him, you get to take the leftovers home. And he said, you do? I just wanted to eat as much as I could before I went home. So we got to take some goodies home, and you will too. And then don't be afraid to look to other countries for ideas for your cake. Australia, the Canadians, the Europeans, amazing. I see so many bakers. Oh my gosh, the Russians are incredible. So there's inspiration everywhere we look for our cake. We're originally designers, graphic designers. So we love to take, for example, an invitation or a motif from your gown and incorporate that in your cake. It's a little more labor intensive, a little more expensive, but it's well worth it if that is a detail you might like to do. So when you come to the meeting, that's what we do. You're going to taste, you're going to enjoy, and we're going to sketch and talk and get to know you. I just pop in the day of the wedding, set everything up, and then I disappear. My regret is that I don't get to hang around like the planner and the photographer. Another life tip. I wish I had sprung for a videographer. I had a wonderful photographer. I spent a lot of money on her. I know, Brian, but it's true. And, but I don't have. I have a shaky handheld beta film from one of my brother-in-laws. He forgot he was holding it, so I get to get dizzy when he was holding it in his arm as he walked along. Spring for it. And that's the third life tip that I have is, look, you're already in for the bundle. I'm not saying triple your budget, but don't cut those corners. The best memories I have with my siblings, their spouses, and all our friends and family are from my wedding day, because we're crazy, but what came together was everybody came together in joy, at least on my side of the family. So, so as far as cake tips, though, real quick, I agree. Don't bring too many people. Bring a couple of moms, whoever you're comfortable discussing pricing in front of, because we need to cover that. I wish I could just like leave it all to later, but that's my rabbit hole. If I have to send you a quote afterwards, it does sometimes get a little tucked in the wrong folder, and life takes over and I'm really busy. So it's best for you to have your quote when we're done. This way we all know where we stand. We're not the least expensive in town because we have a lot to offer. And then, so don't be afraid to spend a little bit here, a little bit there. No, don't go crazy, but don't chintz on yourself because you will regret it. And that, like I said, not hiring the videographer, regret of mine. But I do have lovely photos. And so, yeah, those are the three. I have a bunch of life tips, but we have the 3 cake tips. Look to other places for your inspiration. Don't bring too many people. The old too many cooks spoil the whatever, the broth. And then the, what was the last one?
Well, we got a ton of questions for you piling up.
Well, just be prepared to have fun because we're another wacky crew over here, namely me.
So I tell you what. So I'm going to pick one because you got a bunch of questions here. So I want to tell everyone, hey, make sure
you got the breakout room.
Jump in the breakout room because you got a whole bunch of questions here. So the one I'm going to pick out. So I've got a question here saying, what is the meaning behind a groomsman cake?
Well, I hate to. I know what I know what other things mean, like the whole meaning of cutting the cake together and all that. But the groomsmen, the first time I ever saw the groomsmen, because I come from a Spanish family, so we didn't have these traditions. And if I've read why the groomsmen cake matters, I've forgotten. But the first time I ever saw a groomsman, I thought it was, wow, was on Steel Magnolias. Now, all these young brides today, they didn't see Steel Magnolias. You got to watch Steel Magnolias for the groom's cake and have a good cry at the end. Groom's cake was an armadillo, and when they cut it, it was made out of red velvet. So what I say is it celebrates the groom. It lets him have a little moment to shine. And what we're doing nowadays with the groom's cakes is that we're using them for the rehearsal dinner. The rehearsal dinner becomes his party of sorts, both of yours, yes. But he gets to be the star a little bit. The wedding day is all about us girls. So,
awesome.
Let him have his time the night before.
Well, thank you, Ines. And
thank you, Troy.
We got some questions here for the questions that we didn't get to on dietary restrictions and things like that. Jump in the breakout room with Ines because we got a bunch
Absolutely.
of Absolutely. Well, thank you, Ines. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are going to transition to our venue portion of the industry. And a venue, it's more than just a great venue. A great venue starts with great people. And I can tell you right away, once you meet John with Whitehead Manor, you will know what a great person he is and how invested he is in you. It's an absolute honor to work with him as a colleague. So Whitehead Manor, it's a unique historic venue that blends the charm of the Old South with the latest in modern conveniences. The site hosts a 5,000 square foot conference center and a Victorian era manor nestled on almost 3 wooded acres. So the manor is known for its serene, retreat-like setting in the highly accessible location of South Park. So at this time, I want to turn it over to John. Take it away, John.
Troy, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And Ellie and Cass, thank you guys as well. I will say this has been interesting for me. I never thought I'd learn so much about bridal dresses, cakes, hair and makeup. I think I need to drink more water, even the week of every week. So there's a lot of tips I've learned tonight myself. So I appreciate you guys, all of you guys actually. So I'm actually going to steal a tip from the photographers. So, kind of talking the venue here, the venue kind of sets your backdrop for the whole day. You can't turn a barn into casual, and you can't turn, city lights into rustic. So, it's kind of, if you want, you kind of got to set your vibe from the get-go. So it's one of the things we kind of tell all of our couples as we give tours is, what are you looking for? If you're a sweater, then outdoors is not for you. If and neither is July. So that's kind of some of the things we kind of talk through. And then, the backdrop. So these are the pictures you look at for the rest of your life. Every single one of your friends are going to post these. These are going to hit Instagram every year for your anniversary because, they had fun. Time hops these days, it's kind of where, everyone gets to see those every single year. So what venue do you want, to be the backdrop of those pictures? And, lastly, it's kind of, so, the details that kind of go into your venue. So, the backdrop of the day is kind of, is your ceremony in one spot? Are we traveling? Do I have to worry about that? Do I have to worry about, is it going to be hot outside? Is it going to be whatever it may be? So, kind of talking through those things all day long and, figuring that out beforehand and what you're going for. So it's all about vibes these days. So that's kind of my tip for the evening.
Awesome. Thank you, John. So I've got a question here for you. So how early can people get there on the day of?
So, a lot of people have restrictions on that, but if you're booking for a full day, we're one of those venues that kind of, we're not necessarily a wedding factory, I'd say. So we only do one wedding a day. If you're a full-size wedding and you kind of have access to our property from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So if you've got 10 bridesmaids and hair and makeup's going to take all day, then they can pull in at 7:45 and we'll unlock it at 8 a.m. So to get everything taken care of all in one morning. And I know Megan, you like that. I see you praying over there.
I got one more for you. So what are the current restrictions with guest count right now with COVID?
You know, that is the big question. A lot of people are operating underneath that 25-person mandate, and being an outdoor venue, we're kind of lucky. It's a blessing and a curse. So having that confined space of different areas. So as long as we're operating, every area of our property is within that 25-person, we can kind of fit them in nooks and crannies of the whole property, as long as we're keeping everyone safe.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And like we've said throughout, make sure to jump in the breakout session coming up here in a little bit with John if you have more questions for him. And then staying with our venues, I can repeat myself talking about a great venue. Behind it are great people and someone that's enjoyable to work with just as much, not just as clients, but as pros. And I know that definitely applies to this next person. Just like the City Club is an uptown staple, so is Nathan himself. So the Charlotte City Club is a renowned platinum club of America located in the heart of Uptown, offering expansive and panoramic views of the city. The City Club has hosted 600 weddings over the past 14 years, and they make every couple feel unique and distinct on their special day. So without further ado, no one better to close it out with than Nathan. Take it away, Nathan.
Thanks, guys. I am very humbled to be in the company of such seasoned wedding pros here. Thank you for letting me participate with y'all, and I'm glad to be here talking to y'all, the brides and grooms. I'm going to take my few minutes and kind of break it up into two. Since I'm an old guy, but I still think I'm 35, even though I'm over 60, I'm going to give a little bit of fatherly advice to the brides and grooms as you're planning this wonderful wedding weekend. You absolutely have to enjoy the journey. I know that sounds geeky and old-fashioned, but it's that one day is so important, but it's the journey getting there. It's picking the photographer and having the first looks and having the cake tasting and picking out your bridal gown or having the bachelor party. Whatever it is, enjoy the journey and laugh. And I promise you that sometimes you think that it's going to go just exactly as you envision. Sometimes the biggest memory in planning a wedding weekend is something that you least expect. As you can tell, we're in the COVID-19 as we speak. It could be that, great Aunt Mary decides to do a little gig on the dance floor that no one's expecting, and Brian's there with his video camera to take it, and you've got that for the memory for the rest of your life. So enjoy the journey, and you've got to plan the wedding that makes you guys happy, you, the bride and groom. You can listen to the moms and listen to the girlfriends and read the magazines and do all those things. Think Emily Post would roll over in her grave. You know what? It doesn't matter. If you're happy, the power players around you that are around you for that special day, they're going to be happy too. So plan the day that makes you happy. Good food, good drink, good music, family and friends. That's what will make that whole weekend wonderful for you guys. My little words of advice. As Troy said, I've done about 600 weddings in the last 14 years. There are two tips that I can give that most of my brides and grooms listen to. The ones that don't always come back and say, why didn't we listen to you? Tip number one, you absolutely have to have some food and some drink before you're announced in to your family and friends. Once you get here from the ceremony, whether the ceremony is here at the club or at a church or wherever, once you get here, I will take you away. I will put you somewhere that you can hear the good karma and the energy and the noise of all the cocktail hour people, but you can have your private time. You can talk about how wonderful your bride looked coming through the door with her dad. You can have some drinks. You can have some food. Promise me, you're going to need it. Once you come down, as everyone else is eating and enjoying, you can flip the receiving line on its head and you can go to talk to table. I can put drinks in your hands and you can enjoy the evening. Then when it comes to the dancing part, you can dance the night away because you've connected the dots with all your family and friends. So you have got to eat before you go into your party. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. Last thing is do a structured exit at the end of the night. do not leave the end of the night at the last dance with everyone around you, because it'll be being at like a bar at 2 a.m. You've got to have that last dance. I typically sequester you away. I give you a basket full of good food and wine and drink. Everyone else can have one last dance. We get them outside. We bring you down. Everyone's down there with their sparklers or their bubbles or whatever, but it brings the night to fruition. So the 2 tips that I can give you is eat before you are announced in, and do some type of structured exit at the end of the night, because I promise you the pictures are fantastic. The photographers are there to take it. It's a memory that'll last forever. So those are my 2 tips. And again, I appreciate being here with all you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, I will absolutely echo that you've had this amazing, incredible day. You've got to wrap it up the right way. So a couple good questions for you. So piggyback what we talked about. So what are your restrictions? What are you seeing with COVID?
Well, so luckily, private clubs like the City Club, we kind of fall under the auspice of restaurants. So we're able to do events that are at half fire marshal capacity. So that being said, we're being very stringent on our SOPs, our standard operational procedural manual. So anyone that comes into the club, whether it's an event, whether it's a member, whether you're coming, for a wedding or a rehearsal dinner, or you just eat, we're making sure that we do all the parameters. We do the temperature checks. We ask the right questions to make sure everyone's safe. That's number one. The City Club just did install an ionization air purifier. We're the first one in the city to have it. They have it at Charlotte Douglas Airport. They've just installed it at the White House and Harvard and Google, and it purifies the air. And so it's not just about COVID-19, it's about any surface, any air. It makes that air better for everybody, the people that work here and for the guests that come. So that's another nice thing that we have that we're offering our brides and grooms as they move forward into the fall and into next year.
Awesome. I got one last question and we'll wrap everything up with. So what advice do you have for couples in the preparatory process of how to visit their venue and how to get those design ideas and kind of that process leading up to the wedding as it pertains to you?
Well, I think for me, again, being here for 14 years and loving what I do, you can just go online and type in Charlotte City Club weddings in Google and see 10,000 pictures that Cass and Ellie have done and a lot of other photographers, and see what other people have done. What I like to do with my brides and grooms as they're visiting, I want them to come meet me and see the space, but I want them to do their due diligence. I want them to go out to Whitehead Manor and meet John. I want them to go to the country clubs. I want them to go to the breweries. And then hopefully I'll rise to the top, or one of them will rise to the top, and maybe I'll get the other night of the wedding weekend. Do your due diligence, enjoy who you're working with. You guys, it is about building relationships. I know we've talked about that all night. I'm a relationship builder. These are people that you're going to know throughout the whole planning process, through that weekend. And most of my brides and grooms, I end up having drinks with and dinner with 5-10 years down the road, and I'm sending them baby gifts. So build the relationships. It is so important.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nathan. I'll echo that as well. I mean, heck, my financial planner was a wedding client of mine. So it is all about relationships for all of us. So I'm going to turn it back over to Ellie and Cass at this time. I believe we've got our big final giveaway.
We do.
Yes.
Do you want to tell about it?
I do. Let's wait for Ashley to put it on the screen.
Oh, yes.
Yes. All right.
Ta-da!
The big giveaway. So the first thing that we're giving away is a $500 gift certificate. Can you put it on the next screen? There we go. Towards engagement, bridal, boudoir, or a wedding collection with us. Yes. A bottle of sparkling and 2 wedding hangover in progress mugs. We love those. And
want to advance that slide, Ash?
Yeah.
And then Megan has jumped in to kind of piggyback. So this is like a whole experience all pulled together. So you'll have your session, but then hair and makeup will be done by Megan. And then if you'll advance also Ashley. And then a date night for 2 at the Charlotte City Club. So it's really to have that whole day to kind of just breathe and celebrate. That's kind of been the theme for the entire evening. And this is our way of just trying to celebrate right along with you. And so how are we going to give this one away, Elizabeth?
I'm bipolar with my name. It's Ellie or Elizabeth, whatever. Yeah, 3 words to describe you guys as a couple. That's what we want to see in the question and answers.
So we're going to pick just whatever we think is the most interesting, fun, engaging set of adjectives. So if you want to talk about you and your partner and just put down 3 adjectives that describe the 2 of you as a couple. Silly weird dorks are always good in our book.
Love it. This one takes more thought.
It does. We're going to give you a little extra best friend zone. That's sweet. Spontaneous, adventurous, and giving.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I know. We're gonna give you a few because this was this was the more,
sexy,
la, la.
Powerful,
rainbow filled.
Yes. Wow. I like that.
Hilarious, weird, outdoorsy, and loving. These are so good.
Flirtatious, historical friends. Aww.
Okay. Love becoming endless. Fugitive soulmates, hilarious. I like when people call themselves hilarious. That is my favorite. Yeah, polar opposites. I hear that.
Yes.
Nasty.
You guys are funny. This DeJordy. Yeah, you've been giving us some
y'all
good
are
ones
great.
tonight.
All right. Do we have a favorite? I feel so that
adventurous.
I know. So for us, we're going to be a little bit, is selfish the right word? A little selfish. So what we identify most with and what a lot of our clients tend to be, spontaneous, adventurous, and giving is going to be our winner. So Teresa,
you're the winner.
You're the winner, and Ellie's going to send you her email address. And from here, Troy's going to tell you a little bit about how to get over to the private rooms, I believe, or am I supposed to do that?
Hey, I can take it away.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you to everyone that joined in tonight. Thank you to all our pros. I hope everyone enjoyed this as much as we all did. So at this time, we are going to head out to our breakout rooms. So this is what's going to happen. So look at the, I believe the link is going to be in the chat. And once you get to the Charlotte Wedding Bosses hub page, you're going to see offers from each vendor. So scroll through that, click the links you can see links to their website. And then most importantly, you're going to see a link to their Zoom room. So go ahead and go there and you can jump in with all of us to chat for a few minutes, ask any questions you have. Each room is going to stay open till 9 o'clock. And I'm sure if you want to stay longer than that, there's always the opportunity to talk with all of our professionals beyond tonight. And then I'd say take a moment and think of the top 3 people that you want to talk to and give us a few minutes to get our room set up. Oh, go ahead.
Will you go do it? So Ellie's going to go back and put the link into the chat. And I just want to mention a couple of things. This is your time to ask all those questions that we may not have gotten to. And there were quite a few, to be honest. So hop on in there and ask those individual pros those questions. And also in that hub, every single wedding pro involved has put together an after show special just for the people that participated today. So hopping over there is the only way that you'll have access to know what those individual offerings are. And then finally, I just wanted to follow up and thank everyone. We so appreciate you. We hope you get a lot out of these private rooms and that you got a lot out of us all being together. And we hope we brought you a little joy and made you feel like you can unapologetically celebrate being engaged. And really, we use the hashtag that love is not canceled. It isn't, y'all. It really isn't. It might feel like weird times, but I promise you these things always work out the way they're supposed to, and your weddings will be beautiful and amazing and exactly as they are intended. And then we also promised you a free gift of our planning guide, which all of these wedding pros got together and created a resource for planning the most meaningful wedding. And on Monday, you'll receive that link from us and be able to download and have all of that. And then you now have all of the contact to reach each individual wedding pro after the show. And now you can reach them individually in those private rooms. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it. And just wanted to say thanks for participating, and we'll see you in the private rooms.
Yes.
Thank y'all.